Welcome back to Media Madness. I'm Thomas, filling in for Natalie again. The British immigration debate has reached an absolute fever pitch, with the point of controversy this time being an axe-wielding 14-year-old Scot. So let's watch.
You don't dare!
Yes, you have a knife.
You don't dare fucking drop me! You're fucking bad and
Why you
catch
fucking
me!
retard?
These are fucking kid bashers!
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Get
Show
me
the knife.
away from her!
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Don't touch her!
That's
Touch me.
it. That's
Do
it.
whatever you
Show
want
the
to
knife.
do. Don't touch my little sister!
Show the knife. That's it.
Don't fucking touch my little sister! She has fucking 12! Wait until I fucking catch you! She has fucking 12 and you just battered me, mate! Wait until I fucking catch me!
Yeah, show the knife. Maracha.
Don't touch her! You're to me! Don't touch her!
Now, my first thought is that this can't have been the first time this girl has had to deal with these seemingly predatory and foreign-sounding men. I'm not aware of any 14-year-old girls who routinely leave the house with hatchets and large kitchen knives. So your first impulse is to have a great deal of sympathy for this girl, right? Well, wrong, because the first impulse of the Scottish police was to charge the 14-year-old criminally for brandishing an illegal weapon in public, because everything righteous and good is illegal in the United Kingdom. Now, over the past 24 hours, people took to Twitter to lionize this girl with pictures of her as a Celtic warrior keeping the foreign hordes at bay at Hadrian's Wall, or some kind of crusader, which is cool, but not so cool to see that it's still illegal to defend yourself in the United Kingdom. Now, coincidentally, the same day this video came out, Nigel Farage, the Reform Party leader, came out and unveiled his grand plan for immigration should he become the prime minister, which he probably will next time there's an election. He pledged to remove 600,000 illegal immigrants over the course of 5 or so years, which is pretty tepid by American standards, but at the very least, it's a start. Now, in response, the entire sitting Labour government came out in full force to dismiss Farage's plan as totally preposterous, with one especially rat-faced minister even blaming his party's immigration failures on, of all things, the weather. So let's watch that.
Those numbers.
If everything you're saying is true, Lord Hanson, why are we going in the other direction? The number of migrants that have crossed the Channel this year, in this period so far, the start of this year to where we are today, is up 46% on the same period last year. So you say a work in progress. There is no progress on that. You're going backwards. You're doing worse than your predecessors did.
No, we're not.
It's up 46% compared to last year.
Yeah, but the key issue is to find the asylum applications and speeding those up to ensure that we put the measures going through the Parliament at the moment.
Right.
On a border force command, on criminalising actions.
The key, I've heard what you said you do, but the key issue for most people is the number of people coming here on small boats, which this year, since you've been in power, compared to last year when the Tories were in power, is up 46%. Why?
Well, there are a range of issues on that, including the very hot weather we have here today and the way in which that is dealt with.
46% increase is because it's sunny.
No, it's because the weather. Have you been to the Channel recently? When it's good weather.
I have, but surely good weather does not alone explain a 46% increase in 1 year.
No, it's because there are a range of measures that we have got in place.
So he goes on and bloviates for a while about certain tweaks his government is planning to various human rights agreements that have contributed to the asylum problem in the UK. I don't know. I don't really have much of a memory for sermons like these, but the bottom line is this. Obviously, this 46% increase has nothing at all to do with the recently balmy weather on the English Channel. The increase is entirely a choice. Unlike their American counterparts, British politicians don't have the luxury of blaming partisan gridlock or judicial or constitutional hurdles. The UK doesn't really have a robust system of checks and balances. The British don't really have a constitution in the way you and I would understand one. Parliament is sovereign. It can essentially do whatever it wants, especially with the size of the majority they have right now. There is absolutely no reason Keir Starmer can't send out more of the Royal Navy to go pick up some of these migrant dinghies. He just doesn't want to. Now, I think it's important to place these debates in the context of the ongoing flag wars in the UK. So, to protest the never-ending onslaught of foreigners into their country, British patriots have taken it upon themselves to raise the English flag onto lampposts, buildings, to paint it onto crosswalks, and basically everywhere else. And in response, many city councils, notably Birmingham, have ordered them removed, either due to safety concerns or because they're offensive to the reigning Islamic population there. It's also really offensive to one old crone in particular who claims to be a British historian for the BBC, and she's really, really unhappy that the English flag is being raised all across England. So let's take a look at this.
I think the problem is that the public debate, particularly the social media discourse, has become so polarised. One of the ways you scramble to get traction is by going to the far fringes of your political limit. And I would suggest that's what Robert Jenrick's doing. The thing about flags, funnily enough, I was talking to someone from Northern Ireland the other day who seemed very reasonable. And I said, oh, you know, are you political? Who do you vote for? And he said, I vote for a non-flag party. I was like, really, in Northern Ireland? He went, yeah, I voted Green last time. And I think there is something about the flag, while I'm all for it in sports grounds, 100%, tie it around your neck, go for it. And actually, ceremony and military occasions, I think there's a real case for the use of the flag. But I think that particularly, and he says the British flag, the Union Jack, but most of these, let's face it, are George crosses. And I'm all for the patrons.
Not all of them, but
a lot,
there's
a
a
huge
mixture.
number.
Okay.
A huge number. And I just would suggest that somebody with the St George's cross tied around his neck, running, for instance, towards the cenotaph, has not perhaps got a wholly patriotic and united vision of Britain when he or she is doing that.
But
now, aside from that really annoying comment about wanting to sequester patriotism to sporting and ceremonial events, I think she unintentionally touches on the crux of the distinction here, which is between the Union Jack and the St. George's Cross. Pro-immigration liberals like this Tessa, I think her name is here, I think see the flag of the old British Empire, the Union Jack, as a flag that can be reinterpreted into something cosmopolitan and multicultural, because this was at one point the flag of a quarter of the planet. So they're fine with people flying it. I don't think it's seen as something inherently nationalistic. But the flag in question with the UK flag wars isn't the Union Jack. You can tell that she's particularly bristling about the use of the St. George's Cross. The St. George's Cross doesn't really carry the same imperial legacy that can be respun as inclusive. It's explicitly English, and it communicates a narrower, harder nationalism that's rooted in the historical English people themselves, which is why I think this so-called historian is so troubled by its renewed use. I think what we're starting to see here, finally, is the British and specifically English people at last nutting up and realizing that they have a national identity that deserves to be protected. And I'm all here for it. I think what's happening with Tessa over here is that she's realizing the inclusivity shtick is not going to work much longer. So, rule Britannia. Good job, guys. Thanks again for watching Media Madness. This is Thomas. We'll see you next time.